Hey guys, my name is Duman. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about something very simple. We're going to talk about things that make your home look so cheap, and these are from the collection of mistakes that you do every day and you don't even know why you're doing it. So I made this video in order to kind of gather a list of things to talk about. I'm going to go through them one by one, and we're going to talk about why these home decor mistakes are so common and how you are constantly stuck doing the same thing over and over again. If you are watching this video and you are new to my channel, please subscribe and check out my home updates playlist because I'm currently transforming my new home right now, so you get to see all the crazy things going on and all these DIYs and makeovers. So the first home decor mistake that people often do is buying everything new, and this I cannot stress enough. When you buy everything new, ironically this can make your home look actually very cheap, and I feel like this happens to people that are moving into a place for the first time and they just get so excited, right? They have been browsing on Pinterest, they have been browsing their favorite content creator. First, home decor furniture is just expensive. Talked about this before in my previous videos. There is a home decor inflation, okay? So furniture, the cost of materials, everything is rising. So honestly, buying everything new is not practical nowadays. We need to think of something that's more creative. So what happens when you constantly buy a new thing at that favorite store, okay? It's always going to end up looking like a showroom or just like something that you don't want to touch. What I'm trying to get to here is that buying new is not necessarily bad. You can buy new. However, it's easier to have old mixed in. That's why it's better to lean towards vintage or even just repurpose items that you find on Facebook Marketplace. Furniture is art at the end of the day. You don't want to just buy things because you think you need it, and what adheres to you the most is going to be the most artsy thing you can have and is going to look clean and fresh in the end. And I also feel like the mistake of buying everything new comes with the consumer angle. Like, this is a dominant angle that we go into when you're only thinking as a consumer rather than a collector and somebody who is actually genuinely just trying to get what they need, then you're gonna fall away from this buying everything new hack. All right, so the second home decor mistake that makes your home look instantly cheap is ignoring window and door treatments. So a naked window is unfinished. I don't care what anybody says. You know, we're going into that minimalist era. Like I said, things are getting expensive and everything, and people don't wanna spend so much money on just every single architectural detail in their house, which is fine, I get it. But a naked window, one, I don't understand it because it's just like, you want that privacy for sure, especially if you have neighbors around. And two, that is just like a super important feature in your home that you're just skipping off. And you already know what I'm gonna say, no short curtains. That is a no-go. I don't care how small your house is or how you feel your window is too short to have a long curtain. That is just not gonna happen. Think of luxury or just like well-crafted homes. They have grand, large, high and wide curtains, which makes the scheme of your home look more luxurious and feels like it's more intentional. You can play with color and fabric just like you would with furniture. Avoid the thin and shiny polyester plus the sheer and like the roller shades. The roller shades. Now that is something, because I feel like the roller shades are just a thing that people get nowadays because they just want the window to do its job. It's crazy because the sheer shades are actually getting quite expensive in order to install as well. I feel like there's a missed opportunity to save money in addition to skipping out on a home design. It's actually really fun to upgrade your windows. You could use linen, velvet, bamboo shades. Like, there is enough selection in order for you to avoid this mistake. And don't get me started on the doors. We see those stark white builder grade homes, and people nowadays are thinking the most luxury thing you can have for a door is turning it into a shaker door. It is super heavily overlooked because we're always looking at the functional aspect of a door, but doesn't mean it can be boring. Functional and boring doesn't go together, okay? A slight upgrade from that stark white shaker door to like a French door or like a curved door can elevate your space instantly. The third thing I'm going to talk about is empty walls or too much filler. So let's start with the empty walls. We have enough of those empty walls. We have them when we go to our doctor's office. We have them when we go to our dentist's office. We have them when we are going to a public bathroom in just like a random area. And ironically enough, I feel like too much on the wall, like a bunch of filler items, can be considered an empty wall as well. And here's why. I was actually kind of guilty of this myself when I first moved into my place, you know? I was obsessed with this apartment therapy, decor, you know, these crazy cool lofts where people have like a bunch of art that they printed off of Etsy or that they just like collected over time, and it's just like filled in and it just looks super like curated. Don't get me wrong, buying art is good, but you have to do it in an intentional way. And most of the times the people that you see online doing these gallery walls have taken years and years in order to collect that art and piece it together. It's very intentional. Like, it's not only going to Target or Walmart or HomeSense or IKEA and just looking at a super cool frame photo and just being like, oh, this would look nice, let me just fill in my space. And for the people that just don't find any of that cool or just don't know where to start, they'll just keep it empty. There's tons of local artists that you might not know of, and even, you know, family photos, like repurposed family photos, that is considered vintage nowadays. It's so crazy how a lot of people would get backlash for just like having those family photos on the wall, but they're kind of coming back in a sense where it's just like, if you have the right frame that has like a lot of detail, it's detail oriented, people are starting to admire that now, because a lot of the times we are seeing these homes that don't have anything going on, and it comes from this sense of luxury, like the sense of mysteriousness. And I feel like another thing that's overlooked too is the DIY aspect of it. You can definitely DIY a wall with art of some sort. You have your own canvases that you can paint, etc. You don't have to be an artist and you don't have to be talented. Going into my fourth point, this speaks for itself. It is cluttered spaces. So the clutteration, the knickknacks, paddywhacks, everything on your dresser, everything on your bed, everything on your coffee table needs to be set appropriately. Don't come with me with that maximalist stuff, because maximalism, it is intentional and it actually works in a sense where there is a foundation and it's layered effectively. It's like math. You have to piece things together. 2 + 2 = 4, 4 + 4 = 8. There is a certain way to place some things in order to avoid that clutter space. And negative space is not always a dead space. Not to be contradictory either, because I just spoke about empty walls. Just don't have too much of it. Carefully select the items that you are going to put on display. I feel like the one that bugs me the most is the bathrooms. The bathrooms is just not a place for clutter. It is a space that is supposed to be minimal. If you want to talk about having the most negative space, it's going to be your bathroom, because you are doing specific things in there. I know there's a lot of products that you're probably using, but those don't need to be seen. That is not home decor. That is just house appliances. Get it out of the way, show those architectural details, keep that kitchen island clean and open and airy unless you're having guests over and you're setting up the table for food. Next is tiny rugs. So tiny rugs. I know if you watch videos like this, you've heard it so many times. Tiny rugs are just not a thing. Show me where tiny rugs work. I'm still waiting. No, bathroom and kitchen rugs don't count. Let's think of it as a bigger lens. You have a living room, you have a dining room, you have a bedroom. These sections of your homes are usually gonna have a bigger square footage. And when you have bigger square footage, it's always good to anchor it with something. And that's when large rugs come in. Bigger rugs like 8x10 or 9x12 and up are usually the way to go for all this. And it always works with a different variation of furniture. There needs to be a foundation over the focal point. So that nice couch that you have or that nice bed frame that you have isn't going to pop out as much if you don't get that rug. I promise you. Anything smaller is because you really actually don't have the space. Like, it will fold against the walls if you put it. That's the only time where it's necessary to get a smaller rug. However, don't skip out the rugs, those patterned rugs, those architectural details. Go with a rug that's funky. Try to find a different materials, whether it's sheer, jute, linen. Play around with the fabric and really take that in to be your focal point. So you can have the nicest couch ever, the most expensive item ever, and that small rug underneath just ruins it and makes it cheap. Another one I feel like it's super common and people are still doing nowadays. Oh my God, I can't wait for this trend to die, but it's using matching furniture sets. The matching furniture sets, I feel like this is like a category of two people. Either you're super risk adverse or you're just kind of lazy. They don't create cohesion and they flatten your whole design into one like boring block. So here's what the interesting part about this comes. The mixing materials actually doesn't look like a hot mess as usually people would think, because a lot of materials actually go hand in hand with each other. And this can come from like one element. There are different types of wood. If you look at well-designed homes, you can find that there are a lot of different materials, even though there is one consistent theme going on. It speaks for itself, but but we're still seeing it, and this is something that cheapens your home very easily and very rapidly. The seventh thing that makes your home look instantly cheap, it's a mistake that people always do, and that is ignoring scale. Massive couch plus tiny coffee table, huge lamp but tiny nightstand, micro art on a huge wall. Everything needs proportion. When your scale is off, nothing feels balanced, even if all the items are beautiful. I feel like a lot of this comes with underestimation and people just not measuring at all and just going with feelings. They're just like, you know what, I feel like this bar stool is going to fit in my kitchen island. I feel like this couch is going to fit in my living room. Actually measure it. Take your time to measure and actually put things that make sense. And just because you have a tiny room doesn't mean you have to have tiny furniture. I feel like the people that have the small apartments, the small houses, tend to make those mistakes more often, because when you have a big home, you are trying to actually fill in the space because you don't want to feel like you're just walking in a museum. And if you are like a amateur in home decor, a beginner, you might do a mistake here and there being like, oh my God, I could have got a bigger coffee table, or oh my God, this could have been a bigger dining table. But like, feel like for people who have that small home, small apartments, they are constantly just buying little tiny things in order to fill in their space. It comes down to anchoring as well. When you have a bigger scale proportion of your couch versus your space, you can actually have a better focal point and you can work around it. I'm not telling you just buy big the entire time, but it's okay to have one or two bigger items in there. Whether it's a small office or a small basement, you can make it work in that sense, where you have a big item that is kind of anchoring the room and setting the tone and making a statement, just as you would if you were to have like a big rug underneath all the furniture that you have. This next mistake is so easy to make, and it's the random accent walls. The accent walls that everybody has been doing nowadays. It's always going to be a trend. Accent walls are just a thing, but it's just like, okay, if I'm thinking from the top of my head right now, I feel like there is more effect when you use all the walls in your space rather than just one. When you use that one wall, it's going to be kind of limitless in a sense where it's just like everything around it is kind of going to be ignored, and you don't want that, especially if you have a large room that you're working with. An accent wall only works when it has a purpose. Not every room needs to be painted like a back wall, or just have a random color splash just because. Is it highlighting something? Because these Crayola type of zigzags on the walls, just because it's wood and it's popping out, it looks 3D, it's just not giving. Or even just the common modern slat walls. These are not ugly. They're not ugly, and some people do have it in their home, but it's just like, what is the purpose? If it's not tying to your layout, it's not tying to your architectural features, instead focusing on having a cocoon. It doesn't mean you have to paint an entire space super dark. You can aim for light colors. You can aim for even like a DIY faux lime wash. And if you don't want to commit to something, you can always work it with the trim as well. It doesn't have to be the wall. Trim around a door, a window, your closet that is painted, or even just has craftsmanship like woodwork on it, can make an accent feature look way more expensive and luxury looking than your just random accent wall. So we're at the ninth thing I'm going to talk about, and this one is pretty controversial because this is just a thing, and it is DIYing everything. If you are DIYing everything, you're making a mistake. You're making a huge mistake in home decor, because as human beings, we are all flawed. We don't know how to do everything perfectly, and there's some skills that you actually need to go to school for. And if you skip that all around, then you are left with something that just looks half-assed. DIY culture used to be affordable, but now the tools, the materials, everything adds up. Some things look better when it's professionally done, like putting in tiles, wood floors, hard job, and you want to save money. Don't go around thinking you can do everything, because I know you can't. Relying on yourself is actually emotionally exhausting. Doing everything yourself leads to patchy finishes, uneven lines, and just project that costs more long term. All right, so the 10th reason why your home looks cheap, the home decor mistake, is relying on trends. People turn their homes into trend cycles. I get it, okay? We have so many content creators, we have so many people online, we have so many honestly experts that are just commenting on design constantly, and you want to keep up. You don't want to look like a fool, but it's better to use trends sparingly rather than just hopping on the next cycle, because you are going to spend a lot of money and you're going to spend a lot of effort constantly trying to catch these trends, and it's not going to do you any justice in the end. Your main furniture, your floors, your architectural features to reflect you, not TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest. Listen, the trends are are important. You have to kind of know what's going on. People are finding new creative ways in order to do some things. There's always something new that's going to be done with everything in life, honestly. Trends are just that, a trend. That's something that is going to last for a time and not a lifetime. But there are some timeless trends that you can kind of see, and I would honestly rely on those more than the ones that are just hot now. Timeless is always better. What might not work now might work in the future and can actually cohesively mix with whatever new is going on. So avoid thinking that you need to have the next thing and follow all those newsletters, and just be in touch with all these new catalogs that these stores are having. Make sure you take the time and just study the trends rather than applying them immediately. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. These are the 10 home decor mistakes that makes your home look cheap, and a lot of people are doing it, and I figured I needed to share in order for you guys to know so you can avoid them yourself. So if you enjoyed this, please like and comment and subscribe. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, and if you want to know more of me, go into my other playlist. I moved into a new home, so I'm applying all these principles, all these trends, all these advices that I'm talking about, and I would love for you guys to come on the journey and watch what's coming next. I do have a new episode coming out, so if you can subscribe, you will know when it comes out. Bye!